everybody. So if you want to hear me, you need to unmute. So hit the button here. If you want to hear me, unmute. One last time. If you cannot hear me right now, hit this button. So I feel kind of silly doing that, but apparently that's what you need to do on Facebook. So that's what I'm told is that it dramatically improves your performance as far as the number of people that will actually listen in on Facebook. So at any rate, thanks for joining me again tonight. Tonight is day 2 of my week-long fast in my quest to prevent cancer. So again, this is all about cancer prevention. So I've had some people ask me, they're like, Chris, you're thin, you don't need to lose weight. What are you doing fasting? And fasting actually is a terrible way to lose weight. It's not very effective. When you fast, your body will go into starvation mode. And when it's in starvation mode, it's trying everything it can to slow down your metabolism, to not burn up fat, not to, it's really doing the exact opposite of what you want to do if you're trying to lose weight. So not a good method for that, but it is great for cancer prevention. There's a lot of studies on that. I think maybe later in the week I'll read off some studies to you all so you can see what that's all about. But yeah, basically what happens is you starve the cancer cells. Cancerous cells and precancerous cells get starved out, and it's a great way to just nip that in the bud ahead of time. So I made this my annual thing. In January, I do 1 week of ketogenic dieting, as I discussed yesterday, and then 1 week of fasting. So how am I feeling today? Pretty good, actually. Not doing too bad. I do have hunger sometimes. It's not terrible. It's I would say like a minor discomfort, but not too bad. I have noticed when I stand up quickly, sometimes I get lightheaded. So that's kind of interesting. It's right now, as I'm recording this, I'm about 46 hours into the fast. So closing in on completing 2 days without food. So 46 hours without food. So I just am careful when I'm standing up to try to go a little slower and make sure I've got my hands on something to steady myself, so I wouldn't lose balance or anything like that. And I also feel a little lethargic and I'm definitely lacking in energy a little bit. So that's just it. It is what it is. I guess it's probably part of that condition where the body is trying to conserve energy. It's trying to burn as little calories as possible because it's not getting calories in, the calories that it's expecting to get. So I'm assuming it's part of that. But physically, it's not been bad at all. As I've said to a few of my friends that have been asking about it, the mental side is much more challenging. So there's nothing that's stopping my brain, from thinking, hey Chris, all you need to do to end this hunger is just go open the refrigerator. So I've got that voice in my head, pretty much all day long. I've noticed that I'm thinking about it almost constantly. It takes effort and concentration and focus to not think about the fact that I'm fasting right now. Because it's that biological driver. My biology is telling me that I need to go out and do some hunting or find some berries or something, and so it's constantly in my head. So the mental side is definitely hard. The physical side isn't too bad. I'd definitely say it's, if I had the flu, that would be a worse physical experience than this being 2 days without food. So if you've got the flu, you're feeling worse than I am, at least physically. The mental side is a lot different with the flu, but because there's not so much you can do about it on the mental side, right? If you've got the flu, but physically, I'm not anywhere near that bad. So some people have asked, is this like a juice fast? And it is not. This is water only. I'm not even drinking tea. So that means that not only is this a fast from food and calories, but it's also a fast from caffeine. So that adds another interesting wrinkle into this week. I'm not too terribly caffeine addicted. I used to, for probably the majority of my life, I would have a pot of coffee a day. I was very caffeine addicted and was not a pleasant person if I didn't have my caffeine in the morning. But I really weaned myself off that in the last year. Now I just have a single cup of tea in the morning. And tea, I have green tea, so there's not a tremendous amount of caffeine in green tea. It's not caffeine free, but it's not a lot, and just 1 cup. It's probably about the same amount of caffeine as like half a cup of coffee, is my guess. So, but I've been going without that, and it's been fine. I would say this morning I kind of wanted a cup of tea, and we'll get to that in a minute. But overall, not having caffeine hasn't been a big deal. I haven't been getting headaches or feeling grumpy or anything like that. That some people, the effects people get whenever they try to go off of caffeine, right? So one interesting thing that has come from this is my sleep. So last night I slept like total crap. So I'm not sure what the reason for that was, if it was the fast, or maybe it's just a coincidence. I was out late last night. I was out with the fellas, and so I did not get to bed at my normal 10 o'clock. Normally I'm pretty rigid at getting to bed at 10 o'clock. And last night I was not. I got to bed about 11:15, 11:30, so maybe that threw me off, not sure, but I know when I woke up this morning, even though like I was dead tired when I went to bed, staying up late, I did not sleep well, and I woke up feeling like crap. So, that was when I was really wanting to have that tea to help me out. But that kind of passed as the day wore on. Later in the day, I took a nap, and I felt like a champ after the nap. The nap was really, really restoring and refreshing for me. And I should mention one other thing, and the other reason why I probably felt like crap is my sleep is a little different than what a normal person sleeps these days. Most people sleep what's called a monophasic. That means you lay down for the night and you sleep through in one segment. So a single segment of sleep. So this is what I did for the vast majority of my life, of course. And it's only been the last few weeks that I've got off of monophasic and switched over to polyphasic. So what I do right now, instead of sleeping from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m., which, that's my routine. I go to bed at 10 p.m., get up at 5 a.m., and it doesn't matter if it's weekends or holidays, I would do that, and I felt so much better and had so much more energy doing that than when I used to not have a set sleep time to go to bed and a set time to wake up. And so that really worked out well for me, which is kind of interesting because up until the last few years, I had always been a night owl, and I just thought that's how I was, and there was nothing I could do about it. But as it turns out, that's actually something you can change, and I'm proof of that. I mean, I was like one of the worst night owls out there. On weekends I would be sleeping into 12 o'clock, and now on weekends I'm getting up at 5 in the morning, and which is great for productivity and getting things done. I mean, a lot of times by 8, 9 o'clock in the morning I've gotten more things done than what I used to get done all day. So that's pretty cool. But I should say, I used to be getting up at 5 in the morning. I just a few weeks ago switched to segmented sleep. So what is segmented sleep? What is polyphasic sleep? So polyphasic sleep just means you're sleeping in multiple segments per night. And the segmented sleep that I'm doing is before, like I said, I would go to bed at 10, get up at 5, so 7 hours of sleep, right? Now I'm going to bed at 10, and when I wake up in the middle of the night, because I noticed naturally I'm just waking up in the middle of the night usually about 3 to 4 hours into my sleep, I'd wake up, and I would just roll over and go back to bed and sleep and get up at 5. But what I read is that human beings sleeping polyphasically, sleeping through the night, that's actually kind of a new thing. It's only really been since the invention of the electric light. Before that, people would wake up in the middle of the night for 2 or 3 hours. And they said it would be, you'd go to bed and you'd sleep 3 or 4 hours, and then you would just kind of naturally wake up. And I'm like, hey, I do that. Wow. And you'd get up and you'd be up for about 2 hours or so, and then you would go back to bed. But this is very common. They said if you take even modern humans that are used to electric lights and you remove electric lights, you put them somewhere where they don't have them, they revert back to this pattern of getting up for 2 or 3 hours in the night. So it's more like the natural way that human beings sleep. Their circadian rhythms are designed for that, and mine certainly seems to be that way because I'm just naturally getting up at that time, right? So what I've done is, instead of when I wake up after 3 or 4 hours of sleep, so we're talking like 1 or 2 in the morning, rather than just rolling over and going back to bed and getting up at 5, I'm getting up for 2 hours. And then I go back to bed and I get up at 7. So now I'm getting the same amount of sleep. I'm getting the 7 hours of sleep, but with a 2-hour waking period in between that. So, the reason to do this is, like I said, this fits our biology, our circadian rhythms more naturally, and you end up getting higher quality sleep. So, even though I'm not getting more sleep, I'm still just getting 7 hours of sleep. I'm getting higher quality sleep, getting more REM sleep, getting more of that restorative slow wave sleep. They call it SWS. So it's definitely a different thing. Not many people are doing that, but I've been doing it the last few weeks, and I've noticed there was an adaptive period. They said it takes 2 to 4 weeks to adjust to a new sleep schedule, even though this is what human beings are naturally built for. The biology is built for it. It still takes a while if you've been sleeping monophasically and your body's adapted to that. So initially there was a period, it took me about a week before I really felt like I was getting really good rest. But now I feel better sleeping this segmented way, sleeping 3.5 hours, getting up for 2 hours, sleeping another 3.5 hours than I was before, just sleeping 7 hours straight. It does appear that it fits my body better and I'm sleeping higher quality. So why am I bringing this whole sleep into my fasting experience, my fasting vlog? Well, last night, like I said, I slept like hell, but I didn't follow my normal segmented sleep. So first of all, I was up later than I should have been. I didn't get to bed by 10 p.m. And then when I was supposed to, normally I get up 3 to 4 hours after I go to bed. I just slept right through it. I don't set an alarm. I just naturally get up, and my wife would probably hate me if I did set the alarm, so it works. I don't think I could do this if I didn't just get up naturally, but I would have to be sleeping on the couch or something. But last night I did not get up after 3 or 4 hours. I got up after sleeping like 6 hours, and at that point I just got up and went about my day like I normally would. So. And I felt like crap doing that. So I don't know. Long story short, I'm not sure if the reason I felt like crap today was because I'm fasting and that caused me to not sleep well, or because I stayed up late, or because I didn't get my segmented sleep and my body's now adapted to that. And instead, I had a night of monophasic sleep where I slept 6 hours straight, and my body's not used to that anymore. So that could be it. But yeah, I definitely did not feel like 100% refreshed like I was when I was sleeping segmented, and hopefully I'll be back on track tonight. I plan to make sure I go to bed at 10 o'clock, and we'll see. I'm guessing I will get up after 3 or 4 hours, that I'll revert to my normal routine. So, well, like I was saying earlier, I am feeling a little lethargic and not having a tremendous amounts of energy, but I was curious like what walking would be like, or excuse me, I'm curious as what exercise would be like while I'm fasting and have these low energy levels, and if that's even advisable or not. Now, part of my morning routine is I always do a little bit of yoga. Now, it's not high stress yoga. It's not like a high intensity, real, breaking a sweat kind of yoga. It's more very, very laid back, meditative stretches kind of thing. Is the yoga I do for my morning routine, and I set my intention for the day while I'm stretching out my body in these yoga poses. But so that's not really a problem. That's, essentially stretching. But other things that I do for exercise is I have a daily walk. So today I did go for a walk, and that felt fine. I actually felt really good to get up and get out of the house. And the weather here was just phenomenal today. I live in Cary, North Carolina. It's a suburb of Raleigh. And it was in the low 70s and sunny and just absolutely beautiful. And considering we actually had negative degrees Fahrenheit, I think it dropped to like -1 or -2 just a few days ago. It's pretty crazy that it was in the 70s today. So I've been living in North Carolina since 2000. So I'm coming up on my 17-year anniversary here, and it had never gotten to the negatives in North Carolina while I've been here. So that's at least a record low for me in my experience with North Carolina. But yeah, so I was, and I'm not a cold weather guy. That's why I live in North Carolina. I'm originally from Ohio, and I moved south because I don't like the cold. So I'm glad to see it warm up. I was not appreciating that chilly, chilly weather. But so anyways, I felt really great out walking today. And I was not going, having said that, I was not doing a brisk walk. I was taking kind of a leisurely walk. And I did not go very long. Normally I go for an hour walk every day. And today I think I went for maybe 20 or 30 minutes. And again, I was just kind of going real leisurely. And if the dog wanted to stop and sniff around. I just stopped and let her sniff as long as she wanted, that sort of thing. So, but I felt fine doing it. Like I considered, I'm like, maybe I should pick up the pace a little, but I just, being lethargic, I just don't even feel like doing that most of the time. So, of course, also for my exercise, I do resistance training a couple times a week, and I don't think I'm going to do that while I'm fasting. I think I'll just take the week off for resistance training, and it just doesn't sound appealing to me to try to do a hardcore resistance training routine while fasting. Maybe it'd be great. I don't know, but it just isn't calling out to me. But I was going to take a yoga class today. It's in Cary, at our library. They have a free yoga class periodically, and I like to go to that. And again, it's not the real intense yoga, like the yoga classes where you're breaking out a sweat kind of thing. But because yoga, if you've done yoga, it can vary quite a bit from one instructor to the other, one style of yoga to the other. But it is a lot more than what I do in the morning. It's a lot more than just stretching. You're getting some pretty good exercise in, and occasionally I do even break a sweat kind of thing when I'm doing yoga. So I was curious to see how I would do in this yoga class today. And I was gonna try it. And if I was struggling or whatever, I was just gonna go in child's pose for a while, or just leave the class. I wasn't gonna worry about it and just see how I do. So I go to grab the keys and go to the library for my yoga class, and my wife had taken my keys today. So of all the times, for those of you who don't know, I work from home, so I'm home all day, and it normally wouldn't be a big deal if she grabbed my keys, and she just did it by accident. She wasn't intentionally doing that. And but I at that point had no way to get to the library, so I guess I could have called an Uber, but considering I had to be there in about 10 minutes, 15 minutes before the class would start, I figured by the time an Uber would take at least that long just to get to my front door. So probably was not going to be making it on time. So I did not get to do that experiment to see how it felt to do a real yoga class doing that while being fasted. It would have been a fun experiment, but alas, no. So, well, there's a lot of other things I could talk to you about, but about my whole experience fasting and the like. But like I said, I plan on doing one of these each day to check in and let you know how it's going for me, and give you some other little tidbits into the world of what a week-long fast looks like. So I'll just save some of that for later in the week. If you're not aware, I do have my own podcast. It's a personal development podcast called Choice Conversations, and that's at choiceconversations.com. And I'm also here on Facebook, and I'm also putting this on YouTube as well. So you can find Choice Conversations both on Facebook and on YouTube as well. So, but yeah, I talk about how to improve your life. This is one aspect of it, the health aspect. So there's a lot of stuff in there on nutrition and fitness and things of that nature and being healthy. But there's stuff in how to improve all areas of your life. So how to have better relationships, and how to have lower stress and find meaning in your life and purpose, and how to be successful at financial endeavors, right? That sort of thing. There's cover all the bases. So if you find that interesting, check it out. So choiceconversations.com. And I guess thanks again for joining me today. So if you have questions, by all means leave some comments, and I will do my best to get back to you right away and let you know. So all right, thanks so much. Take care of yourselves.